me start. Hi everyone, it's Stella with yet another story time. So before we start, please subscribe to my channel. I'm a new channel, it means a lot to me, and if you enjoy story times, if you enjoy my stories, please subscribe and like my stories. Because I have so many stories I would love to share with you, and I will be more than happy if you guys showed me that you want me to actually do more story times. So let's get started with no further ado. I was at the second year of my degree, and like I said in another story of mine, which I will be linking down below, I was very lonely, I was not very popular, so I didn't have a big circle of friends and acquaintances. I had just a few, and one of them was a guy that was local. He was not my co-student, and he was not even a student at the university I was attending. And yeah, but he was very cool. Let's call him Jordan. And Jordan was a DJ at the local bar I used to go. It was the only alternative bar slash coffee shop slash club, whatever you may call it. It was the only alternative place that you could hang out. And he was a DJ there. He was very cool. We were so alike. We had a lot of fun together. So I met him while I was at the first year. And then we started going out a lot. And at some point, Jordan hit on me. And I didn't want to ruin our friendship because I was really having a great time with him, and I really found him as a cool guy, and I wanted to keep hanging out with him. But I didn't want to have this awkward kind of situation between us, so I kind of toned down our going out with him, my going out with him, and I wouldn't meet him so often. But we still kept going out every now and then. So one day he calls me and he says, you have to come at the bar on Friday night because I'm playing there, I'm DJing, and I want to meet you someone special. There is a girl that I really like her, I'm into her, and I'm meeting her. It will be like a date kind of thing, so I want you to meet her. It means a lot for me if you meet her, because your approval means a lot to me, so I need you to be there. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'm so happy for him, and I'm more happy because now there will be no such thing between us, like, you know, we'll be just friends. And if he finds someone, I believe he deserves it because he's a nice guy, he's such a great guy, and so on. So I go on Friday night and I see the bar. It was a small one. It was like 30-20 people capacity, and it was crowded, overly crowded. It was a usual Friday night. So I see Jordan there, and he's around with a bunch of guys. They're all his friends. I meet them all. At first I felt a little awkward because I was the only girl in there, but soon it started getting much better. I think music was awesome, and the girl was not there yet, but he said she would be there any minute. And yeah, finally she comes, and her name is Vivian, and I meet her, and she looks like she's very cool and everything, but she looks like she's a little reserved. She's not, you know. Jordan said that she was a little hurt because she had, you know, gone through a lot lately, and she had a bad experience with a guy, and that's why she was a kind of reserved. And I'm like, okay, but she looks so cool, and she's very pretty, very hot girl, so you should do something, you should do a move and everything. And so the night goes on, and at some point I saw the hottest guy ever. I see the most hot guy, and he's walking towards me, and I'm like, you know, I just missed a heartbeat. And he's so hot, like very, very hot. He's totally my type. He's tall, he's strong, he's blonde, he's perfect. And he walks towards me, and I find out that he's Jordan's friend, one of his friends, I mean, and he's a local too, and we start talking, and let's call him Angela because he looked like an angel. So don't dislike my video because of that. I know it's a lame thing to say, but please don't. So me and Angelo meet each other, start talking. We start getting to know each other better and better. And the more I get to know him, the more I am into him. It just hit me. I feel like I'm head over heels, like after 2 hours of hanging out with him. And we have so much in common. He's so interesting. He's so funny. He's so great. He's so gorgeous. And meanwhile, I forgot to mention that Vivian and Jordan, came closer, like really closer, but I keep an eye on them, but they're not really there. I can see that there is something, it's not working, but at this point, I'm like, okay, it's none of my business, so I'm more focused into Angelo, and it's none of my business because it's Angelo here. So my business is Angelo now, and I'm such a bad friend at this point. So I start talking with Angelo, and he's like, no, I insist, I have to, take you home, or blah, blah, blah. And I agree, he takes me home. And we find out that Angelo was, like I said, he was a local, he was from this town I was studying at. And he was studying at my hometown. So when he takes me home, he asks me before saying goodnight, he says, when can I see you again? And I'm like, yes, he wants to see me again. And okay, so we arrange a date. So after a couple of days, he picks me up and we go on our date. And he's with his bike, he has a motorbike, and he says, okay, I'll take you into a very special place. And I'm like, is that a cheap hotel? And yeah, so he takes me out of the town and he takes me into some weird places that are really isolated and everything. And he says, you haven't seen all this stuff before because you're not a local and you don't know, and I'll take you there and there. And we spent like 6 whole hours on that date. No sex at all. At this point, no sex. And we start talking and everything, and he makes a move on me, we kiss. And then he says, usually I don't do long distance relationships because he was studying in my hometown city, blah, blah. But it was like 3 hours drive distance. And he's like, it's okay because I'm so into you and I don't want to lose you and everything. And I'm like, yeah, me too. And he says, but there is one little problem. And there is where my rings should bell. So this point is where a red flag should appear in my head, but my head was totally empty. I was not thinking at all. There were no bells ringing, there was nothing. Just me being in love. And blurry. And yeah, and he says, okay, you know what, Jordan is a good friend of mine. And I'm like, yeah, I know that. And he says, we stopped hanging out so much, like we were best buddies, but we stopped hanging out so much because I had to attend university in another city, so I'm not as often here as I used to be. And I'm like, okay, so, but he says, but I love him so much and I care about him, and I know he was crazy about you, he was so into you. And I'm like, no, you're exaggerating. He was like, he had just a crush on me or whatever, we're just very close and that was it. And he said, no, I know he was really deep in love with you, and that's why he brought Vivian there. He wanted to make you feel jealous and everything, and I know it was a setup and blah blah blah. And he shows me some messages, texts that between him and Jordan was saying that he was so into me and blah blah blah. And then that was supposed to be the proofs and the evidence about Jordan being so crazy in love, madly in love with me. So he says I cannot hurt his feelings, so we have to be extra careful. We shouldn't, make it so public that we are together. Just not hiding per se, but just just don't shout to everyone like we're together until, Jordan moves on. So everything will be cool between everyone. And I'm like, okay, that's it. That's a problem. That's not even a problem. We will not tell Jordan or anyone else that, was hanging out with Jordan in case they would spill out something. And yeah, I agree like that. I don't even think about it. I don't even think it's an issue. because I'm so into him. So hands down, he was the best, guy I ever dated so far. So we found a way to work it out because it was so easy. Like when I was at my hometown where Angela was studying, everything was cool. We're out in the open like a normal couple who would go out, hang out with his friends there and everything. And when he was at his hometown where I was studying, he would come at my place. Like, yeah, we would spend most of the day in my place, doing more intimate things. So I didn't mind it at all at this point, not going out so much, because he would come for like 2 or 3 days, would spend the time in the house or go out just like, nearby or for a quick something. So that was it. And yeah, and I forgot to mention that since we were kind of at the same circle of friends, we could go out but with other people, like Jordan, other friends of them, and yeah, it was not like a couple thing, but it was fine. It was smooth. It was cool. Meanwhile, I was so into him and I was spending most of my time with Angelo, and if he was not there, with other friends that I had. So Jordan and I were not that close at this point. I mean, I would see him every now and then, but that was it, and especially only when he was DJing. So we wouldn't be hanging out so much, like in such a close friendship kind of thing. And Vivian wanted to hang out with me a little bit, but on one hand, I didn't want to hang out with her so much because of Angela, and I didn't want anyone to know about it, and I didn't feel right, lying to her and not saying that I am with Angela. But on the other hand, I thought she wanted to hang out with me because she was really into Jordan and she wanted to do something with Jordan, and because she said she liked the guy, just something vague, like, and I figured out that I could, be the link between them and, yeah, fix them up. So something like that. So every now and then I would go for a coffee with her, but that was it. And yeah, like I said, 6 or 7 months later, I remember I was at my apartment. Vivian calls me and she's crying, almost crying, and she says, I need to speak to you now. I need to tell you about something very important. And yeah, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you can come by and everything. And she comes by and she starts bawling her eyes out, and she tells me that she feels sorry that she was not so honest with me about Jordan and everything. And she's like, you know what, I have to tell you something. I'm not into Jordan, but I know he's into me. And I'm like, okay, there's no need to cry about this. It's nothing. Don't feel bad about it. It's not a crime. You didn't commit a crime or something. Don't worry, I'm behind you. I support you 100%. You're not forced to like Jordan. And she's like, yeah, but I want to like him because he's such a good guy, and I'm so stuck with another guy and he's such an asshole. He's such a big jerk. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but what happened? And she says that she had once and one night stand with a guy, and then she was really into him, but this guy was in a long-term relationship, and then she tried again and again to get with him, and they would have sex a couple of times, but that was it. And he made it clear to her that he could not be with her because he was in a long-term relationship. And I was like, Vivian, you deserve more than this. Why you want to be with such a guy who cheats on his girlfriend? And I would never, ever date such a guy. I would never want to be with such a guy. And you deserve more than this. Why you want to be with him? Move on and try, if not Jordan, try to have something with someone else who is decent, who is single, and he's more honest with you. And, I'm trying to make up her mind about this guy. And she says, you know what, I know you're right, my mind says it's right what you're saying, it's what I'm saying to myself, but trust me, it's so hard to get over this guy. I'm so attracted to him. He's like this hot blonde guy, he's very cute, He's like, and the sex was great, was the best sex I ever had, and it's so hard to move on. It's so hard to, not feel attracted so much as I do. And at this point, I'm starting thinking that, you know what, I understand what she says. I see where she comes from, because I feel this way for Angelo. He's so hot. He's a blonde angel, and the sex is so great. And what if I had this situation with Angelo? And I start feeling her more and more, and I start feeling more connected and more compassionate with her. So at this point, we hear a motorbike crossing by the street, because I'm living at, ground floor, and it's like everything, you can hear everything from the street. And we hear this motorbike, and she's like, and I'm like thinking about Angela and his motorbike, and she's like, oh my God, did you hear this motorbike? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh, it sounds like his bike, his motorbike. And I'm like whose? And she's like these guys I'm telling you. I'm like, yeah, what's his name? At this point, I'm starting freaking out. And she says, Angelo. Okay, it's Angelo, you know him. He's Jordan's friend. And I'm like, no, it's not Angelo. And she's like, yes, it's Angela. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, this girlfriend, it's me. And then I'm thinking, no way it's me. Because we dated for like 6-7 months, but you cannot call it a long-term relationship. And she said specifically they're for years together. So what is going on here? What do we have here? So Angela is having someone else. It's so crazy in my mind. My mind is on fire at this point, and I'm thinking, oh my God, not only I'm the side chick, but I'm the side chick in the side chick. Oh my God, I'm the side chick. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, no, it's worse. I'm one of the side chicks. And I'm like, oh my God, who knows how many more side chicks are riding his motorbike or whatever. Oh my God. And I'm so contemplating if I should tell Vivian or not, because I see she's in a bad place at this moment, and I'm trying to calm her down and everything. So I wanted to be all alone with my thoughts and clear things up. And I wanted to be alone for a few days, because it was so hard for me. I felt so disappointed. I felt like I was let down, because I really had such a great time with him. He was the best thing ever happened to me. I mean, dating wise, he was like the best date I ever had. Even though I was a side chick, it was great. Everything was great. And I had to move on. I knew I had to move on, and I had to, detach myself from all this pleasurable situation and everything. So after a few days, I call Vivian and I tell her, you know what, I am one of his side chicks, blah, blah, blah. Me and Angelo, this and that. And she's like, oh my God, she's a little shook, but not too much, because she expects that. And she says, I learned that he also has some girlfriends or, side chicks at the place he's studying at your hometown. And I'm like, yeah, it's not impressive anymore. I'm not stand anymore. I expect everything. And then we say that, you know what? Oh my God, and what about his real girlfriend to start with? I mean, the one that he's dating for years and years. Such a shame for her. We have to do something about it. Not for revenge per se, but he did us bad. So after we talked with Vivian through, we decided that we should go for Jordan. So we decided with Vivian, you know what, this buzzer has to pay off. And not only that, his poor girlfriend has to know, because it's, everything happens behind her back, and she has the right to know with who she's dating. She has to know his real face. And we decided that, Jordan, there was no other way that we could know who this girl was. So we couldn't reach her. So we start pushing Jordan. We told him that we knew everything and blah, blah, blah. And Jordan is like, no, I cannot tell you anything. My lips are sealed. He's like my very good friend, and I cannot get involved into this. I cannot be in the middle of this. I'm not telling you who he's dating. And you know, me and Vivian are pushing him really hard. Meanwhile, I didn't break up with Jordan. I didn't tell him I knew everything because, of course, I wanted to catch him off guard. I didn't want to give him the time to prepare or do something and react somehow. So, but you know, I was avoiding him. Like I could find any stupid and silly excuse every time he would call me to come by and everything. And he was just fine because, of course, he had a lot of things to do, being busy with other side chicks. So he didn't mind so much. And he didn't pay so much attention, so that was a good thing. But meanwhile, me and Vivian were going every day at Jordan's place where he was playing in the bar, and we were pushing him so hard to tell us we had to find, and we were like every day, like there in front of his face, like every day, everywhere he would go, he would see me and Vivian, and would push him and tell us. So after like a week or so, you know, with this thing going on, me and Vivian pushing Jordan to tell us, him not telling us who the girl was. He says at some point we're pushing him so hard and we kind of threatened him. I know it's stupid, we wouldn't do anything wrong, you know, but yeah, you know, at this point he's like, shut up, you both. You know what? At this point you don't even have to do this. It's over, everything is over, especially now. And we're like, me and Vivian are like, why especially now? And he's like, you don't know what happened? And we said, no, tell us what happened. And he says that, you know, Angelo had a terrible accident with his motorbike and he broke like his leg up to his hip and everything, and it was very his arm and something like that, and he's in the hospital and he's not well, you know. And he's like, not only he's injured now, he's in the hospital, he's in pain. But not only that, but when he had the accident, he was with another girl, another side chick. So his girlfriend, like fiancé girlfriend, the one he had for years, you know, she knew that something was going on. She was suspicious about things, or maybe she knew a few things, I don't know, but you know, things were not good at all between them and for him especially. So you don't need to do more than this. He got what he deserved. And me and Vivian were like, you know what? Yeah, he probably did. Let's move on. Besides, it's better if we move on and focus on ourselves. So I kept, you know, going out with Vivian. We became very, very good and close friends. Shout out to Vivian. I'm sure she's watching now. And as for Jordan, we didn't hang out with him so much because we thought he was not like, you know, I mean, yeah, covering your friend. I would do the same for my best friend. I know that now, and I would lie and everything, but I don't know. We didn't think he was right to do so. He should at least have warned us. If not, okay, he could not say anything, like, but he could have done something to warn us at least about, you know, no, Angela is not for you, like, maybe he's, you know, anyway, so, yeah. And ever since, of course, I have more experience now, obviously, and I know more things, and I know for sure that when you're in love and you are not very experienced, things are more like the way you want them to look like, and you cannot see all these signals and all these red flags. And I wish I could, because the more you get into the situation, that's the thing, sometimes you may ignore a signal or a red flag because you're so into this guy or into this girl or whatever, and you just want to believe it and you don't want to think more. So that was my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did so, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I'm a new channel. And if you like story times, if you like my stories, please, please, please subscribe. It means so much to me because, like I said, I'm a new channel and I will be posting new videos every week, and I'm more than happy to share more stories with you guys. I have so many stories I want to tell you, I want to share with you. So yeah, show me that you like my stories so that I can go on and keep up and tell more stories. So until next time, take care.